Hey, what's going on, everyone? Um, all right. Welcome, everybody. Let's get the face cam going. Oh, there it is. That's really loud for me. I don't know about y'all. Okay. So what we're going to be working on today is we're going to be practicing drawing some hands. Good sound over at Twitch. Hey, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we're over on like every platform right now. We have. I think Instagram's the only thing that we're not streaming on right now. Where'd my brush go? I'm going to continue working out of Takahiro Kagami's book, my favorite hands book. Well, you know what? That's a very biased opinion because I just like this artist. Anyway, so we're actually going to be talking a little bit about MagFest. This is my first convention post MagFest, which is a convention, a video game convention that I had an artist table at last weekend. Well, before we hop into Kagami's book, we'll just do some free sketches, okay? We're back with the brush pen because I know a lot of people wanted me to bust out the brush pen again. Right, if you're watching on TikTok, just know that we are. You can get like a nicer version of this stream on Twitch or YouTube, which are kind of my preferred. Yeah, we'll give people a little bit of time to roll in, and then some of the topics we'll be talking about today, other than hands, which is the subject for today, mainly hands interacting with objects, because I think it's kind of easy work for me at this point, drawing hands just kind of existing, or hold on, this is yeah, drawing hands is kind of easy for me in regards to just like drawing hands existing. Holding objects I don't think is that difficult. Having hands interact with other hands is where it gets a little tricky for me. I think more I just need more mileage on it. My ability to kind of visualize it is a little iffy, and I think that's more of just like I don't have a lot of miles doing that. See, I leave Twitch for like, what has it been like? Not even like 2 weeks, because not even like 2 weeks, because I know we were streaming when I was at the convention at MagFest. We had some of those like out in the out in the ice, out in the snow live streams where we were drawing. Welcome everybody. Just kind of getting the stream started, just kind of getting my work day started. Hope everyone had a productive weekend. I took like a day and a half off of work. I just so beat, you know, see, this isn't gonna work. It's supposed to be. This actually should sit a little bit lower. It actually took like a day and a half off of work. Remix, oh shit, Remix, what's up? Yo, I'm excited when I catch up on all my work, all my commission work that I have. I get to hop back onto the Cintiq, and we have a big drawing that I'm working on. I think this will be the last collage. I'm working on a Digimon piece, a Digimon collage, or a masterwork. I think that's going to be the last piece of fan art that I'm going to do for a while. Not forever, just for a while. You know, I've produced a couple of them. Like I produced like 3 last year, which is a lot for me. Like I don't normally produce that much fan art. But you know, for the sake of the conventions last year, I think I produced 3 last year, and then 1 I've already done 1 this year. So that's high for me. And then add on that I'm gonna finish this Digimon piece hopefully within like 3 or 4 weeks. Remix, you're doing mighty well. Finally got the chance to catch a stream all today. Yo, yeah, my bad. The stream schedule's been all whack. So I am multi-streaming across like every platform possible, right? Because I just why not? I got like spare phones and stuff, like old phones that I'm just like connected to TikTok. I need another mount on my my desk mount here so I could stream to Instagram at the same time. Anyway, so I'm not used to streaming on TikTok, right? There's a lot of shit going on the screen here. There's like a flower here. There's a little gift. I'm getting little pop-ups about a global creator celebration. There's a little orange heart that says popular. There's like sofas at the top, and I have no idea what any of this stuff means. Anyway, but if you are in the TikToks, I appreciate you hanging out with us. I appreciate the Twitch people more though, because I mean, come on. Anyway, remix. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about MagFest. I just had an artist table at MagFest last week. MagFest was a 24-hour show. It opened on Thursday, and it just stayed open. It just stayed open until Sunday afternoon. And it kind of sucks. I had to leave on Sunday morning, so I missed out on that last day of sales. And my friend said that was the best day, and I was like, God fucking damn it, you know. So what it is, but someone asked, what are you drawing? We're just practicing hands. The title of the stream is practicing hands. I don't know if it's showing up for you guys though. We're just hanging out in the sketchbook, getting some mileage down, practicing some hands. You never get enough mileage with hands. Yeah, this is my first bit of drawing for the day too, so I'm need a little time to warm up. Yeah, well, for anyone who's new to the stream, especially if you're hopping in from TikTok and you're not used to how we do things, because I'm normally streaming on YouTube and Twitch, is we'll take about an hour to warm up. Well, like we have the given topic of the day that I'm gonna practice, and I'll take about an hour to warm up without references, and then when we get into the study session, the practice session, I have this book in front of me. I have this is specifically this hands book is by Takahiro Kagami, my favorite hands artist. We'll be going into this book when we get to the study section of the stream, but for right now, we're just warming up. So yeah, I by the end of the convention, because it was 4 days, 24 hours, so basically not counting the time I spent setting up the day before it opened, but from the moment the show opened, I clocked over, I think it was like 50 hours and something. It was over 50 hours. It wasn't 51, it was over 50 hours of table time. I was behind so for 4 days, over the course of 4 days, I spent over 50 hours behind that table. Which is pretty good. I mean, it made like a year's worth of rent, so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna drop a big old bag with a $sign on it at my to my landlord, be like, all right, don't fucking talk to me for the rest of the year. Hey man, and I did it because you know what helped is that I don't consume 1K likes. Oh, thank you. Not Anessa. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, we hit 1,000 likes on TikTok. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's good, but like relative, but I'll take it. I think that's pretty nice. It means 1,000 people hit a button. That's pretty nice. I appreciate it. So yeah, I don't consume caffeine anymore on the daily here at home. I don't like I don't consume I don't consume caffeine like at all unless I'm at a convention. And I did that for my health because I'm like super old and I really abuse my body, so I really gotta take it easy. But on the times when I do, so over the course of that 4 days that I was working, I only drank what's the smallest size that Starbucks has? Because they had a Starbucks vendor at the convention. Um which was nice because their coffee wasn't excessively priced. It was Starbucks price, so it's overpriced, but it wasn't excessive, which was really nice. But yeah, whatever Starbucks smallest size is, I lived off of 3 of those the entire weekend because I'm such a little bitch. Like I'm so sensitive to caffeine because I don't drink caffeine on the daily. So that's kind of how I was able to do it. That's how I was able to work that many hours at the table. Most of the time, you see artists, and I used to be like this, just chugging down Red Bulls. Actually, I did have never mind. I had 2 Red Bulls and 3 of those coffees. Anyway, that's how I got through it. Just sipping on that little bit of caffeine was enough for me. I was like nursing that little cup of coffee. I was like nursing it for all day. Like it wasn't even hot. It got all bitter, you know. I swear to God, it tasted like espresso. I haven't had a proper espresso in a very, 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 very long time. But when that Starbucks coffee got cold, that shit was like straight espresso, and I was like, oh God, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let me rephrase that, or let me clarify. It wasn't 50 hours nonstop. It was 50 hours cumulative with like 3-hour breaks every like 16 or so hours. That's how I did it. It wasn't a straight 50. I'd be dead if it was a straight 50 hours. Let me recontextualize that. It was a yeah, if it was 50 straight, I'd be dead. But what's the longest I've ever stayed awake for work? I think the longest I've ever stayed awake for work. Actually, I think it was over 50 because I remember during the Dragon Ball piece, you know, the 1,000-hour Dragon Ball drawing. I was living off of like Red Bulls and drugs, so to stay awake, and I'm pretty sure I went over 50 hours of straight awake. I couldn't do that these days. That was me in my 20s. That was younger me. He can do that. I don't think I could do that anymore and survive. But I think that's the longest I've ever stayed awake for work. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it was a good weekend. I appreciate everyone who went to MagFest to support my work. The next convention that I have is I have a small show. I have a couple small shows in California. Stockton Con. Oh, you know what? Before anything, I have to go to London next week. Oh God, it's next week already? Shit. Yeah, my brother he's a professional athlete, and he has something going on in the London area, so I have to go support him. I'm gonna fly out there, and I never make it out to these things, and my parents wanted me to go support him, and they're like, hey, do you have a convention that weekend? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Why? So anyway, there's this thing in London. I'm like, fuck. Nah, that's cool. I want to go. I want to go support him. So. I'm gonna spend the entire flight. I forgot how long the flight is from California over to London. I'm gonna spend the whole flight. I revived my Mobile Studio Pro. Where is it? Aha. I revived it. This is the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro, the 16. I it like died out on me, right? It's a mobile tablet. This is a Cintiq. It's a mobile tablet that you can draw. Anyway, so this died on me, and it was sitting around for like over a year. And I told myself that I was gonna like just sell it as is and just get whatever I can out of it. But you know me, I just can't leave well enough alone. So I fucking popped this whole thing open, which was actually, this thing is not designed to be open, by the way. There's adhesive like all along the whole thing. In the back, there's like bolts everywhere, and like there's like 6 ribbon cables that are like this short, like underneath here. This thing was not designed to be open. Anyway, so I was able to pry it open, and then I had to replace the hard drive. It's an M2 drive, but the thing is, it uses like an I don't want to get into this nerd shit. Anyway, it uses a type of connector that you don't find a lot these days. So there's like a limited selection of hard drives you could put in here. So, in hindsight, I wish I had got something better. Why is my hair white? Hey, thank you for noticing. You know, when I bleached my hair last year, it was very blonde, right? But we re-bleached it not too long ago. To touch up the roots, and I found a different method, and it has really, how do you say, like heathered out the gray, or heathered out the yellow and the blonde. It actually looks very, it looks very faded. You see that in the camera? Yeah. It's nice, yeah. That's not from the camera. That's like how it looks. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna give you all the rundown of what happened at MagFest, the con I just came back from. This will be quick. So I had to get to MagFest. MagFest 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24 hours the whole time, right? Blah, blah, blah. So I had the choice of getting there mid-Thursday, which would mean I would lose a day of sales, or get there on Tuesday, like way too early. The reason is because Anime Expo, you know, big boy convention, it had the rebooking session for returning artists on that Wednesday, middle of Wednesday. So I was just like, if I want to go through the rebooking process, I either have to arrive 2 days before MagFest so that I can be in front of my computer and do it, right? Because like if I stayed at home and did it at home, then I wouldn't be able to get to MagFest until after Thursday, which would cost me a lot of money. Anyway, so that was fun. Anyway, that's just like that boring. That's that like boring shit that you have to deal with if you're doing conventions as an artist or a convention artist full time. Like, oh, can't schedule dentist appointments during certain times. Can't, you know, convention signups usually will happen when you're on the road and all that good stuff. So it helps to have a mobile hotspot with you. All that little stuff. Anyway, boring shit. Let's get back to the con was fine. Nothing of note happened. I went, worked. Some people closed up their shops at like 8 p.m. until like 10 a.m. so they can go out and eat. I was like, hell nah. I came here to make money. I'm trying to eat, or I'm not trying to go out. Like they wanted to go out and have like lobsters and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know, man. Because I packed all my own food. Like some Walmart tortillas and shit. I did a lot of sketching while I was over there, though. A lot of people drawing. See, I don't ever leave the office. I never leave my house when I'm not doing conventions. So my time available to do like life drawing is very limited. So when I'm traveling for artist alleys at these conventions, very, very crucial that I take time to people draw, whether that I'm staring at people at the airport or I'm or airport, airplane, or at the convention. You know, you stand at your artist table at the convention. Very, very good opportunity to get some good figure drawing in, get some life drawing, you know, because it's just like, um, it's a giant life drawing class. It's fucking awesome. So, if you ever do, anybody here, you do end up going to these conventions where you're showing your art, selling it. If there's any first off, well, money is the most important thing when you go to those things, so prioritize that. But if it dies down a little bit, make sure you got your sketchbook with you all the time. And you get the mileage in all the time. You know, I didn't start realizing this until, you know, not too long ago. Welcome everyone. If you're just hopping in, we are just doing some warm-ups before we start the actual sketch session. I didn't realize this until, like, I think it was Tim here in the chat who brought it up. About like life drawing, and I was just like, yeah, I don't do a lot of life drawing classes. And then I start to think, I'm just like, oh wow, I'm just like drawing people like all the time when I'm on the road. So that's just life drawing classes. Anyway, very crucial. Hell yeah, your sister would draw while at her table too. I've seen other artists draw while they're at their table. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of artists I see are usually working on either commission work or they are on their tablet working on like a new drawing that they're going to sell. So that's all very productive. That's what you need to be doing at the table. But see, the reason I don't like to work on like commissions or projects when I'm at the table is because if somebody's paying me to do, if it's a commission, I don't do commissions at the table, because if somebody's paying me to do a drawing, I'm going to take my time with it, right? But also, here's the thing, I can do commission work. I can do new project drawings when I'm at home. I can't do figure draw, like I can't do figure drawing at home the same way that I can when I'm at the table. Do you know what I mean? Like you have access to this like basic, almost unlimited amount of people to draw when you're at the table. So you can only do that there. That other stuff, the commission work and all that, you could do that at home. That's why I don't like doing work when I'm at the table. Use your time to draw people that are there to practice figure drawing. Yeah. That's exactly what I do. And that's only because for me personally, like if there's some artists who have access to like figure drawing courses at you know, like where they live, and I'm not talking about online, I'm talking about like like real in-person figure drawing stuff. If I had access to that, then yeah. But also I don't like to I don't produce a lot of products. I have like 9 products. Actually, I've produced 10 products for conventions. I've produced 10 products and I've retired one. That's funny. Like I've updated some of the products, right? Like the Pokemon and the League, but technically they're still the same. Like it's still kind of the same thing, right? So I think over the past like almost, I'll say like 8 years, I've made 10 products and I've retired one of them. Oh, big shout outs to everyone who supported the Berserk drawing at at MagFest. That was the first time I brought out the Berserk drawing. See, that one was more of like a personal project. I didn't, when I made that one, my head wasn't like, you know, when I make some of these big masterworks with like hundreds of characters, in my head I'm just like, this is something that's cool, but shit, this is gonna make me hella stacks, right? Like, just in my head I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take this to the con, it's gonna be fat stacks. Like, you know, you think that to yourself. But with the Berserk piece, I wasn't thinking that the whole, I was just like, man, this drawing is fire, I just can't wait till it's done. Yeah, I was just like, I can't wait till it's done. And like, there's no part of me that ever thought that, because I was supposed to be doing the Digimon piece end of last year, but instead I did the Berserk piece just because I felt like it. Oh, God forbid we draw something that we feel like drawing, right? But so I think, I don't know if it's because my expectations were kind of low, but I'm super surprised with how well it did. Vandal, what's going on? Wait, for AX, did you apply? Can you get in if it's your first time? Oh, Vandal, my bad. Vandal Vlogs, my bad. I missed your comment earlier. Hopefully you're still here. I'll answer that right now. Anime Expo, I believe that the Artist Alley applications for, because there's two sets of applications for that show. There's the returning artists, and then there's like general applications. General applications is for everybody. Whether you're new or returning, and like if you're returning but you miss the rebooking or whatever, then you would go into the general applications. I think they closed general applications already. The return, the rebooking was specifically for people like artists who were rebooking. Like, they gave us a special code and all that stuff. Like, don't share this code, like that kind of stuff. Oh, you applied? Nice. Good. Yeah. AX is it's very rough. It's hard to get in. And I know that ever since fucking COVID, you know, everyone wants to do conventions now, and I think I'm partially to blame because of my videos, but it's the competition to get into cons is way higher now. So, and AX is a rough one. So I just hope that everybody who applied, if you don't get in, don't feel bad. There's somebody in the Discord. Oh, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, there was somebody in the Discord who was feeling a little discouraged because they didn't get in or they didn't get their application into a FanimeCon. And I'm just gonna say, it's okay to feel discouraged with your artwork or the business side of your art, you know? It's what's the word? Disingenuous to say that I don't get, you know, I don't feel a little discouraged sometimes. You know, I don't. Back in the day, I would feel discouraged. These days, I'm just more like irritated more than anything. Like if I miss an application, I don't feel like discouraged. I'm more just like, God damn it! And like, did I write that down wrong? Like, that's where I'm at these days. But you know, back in the day, I would feel that little bit of discouragement. You know, but despite how you feel about that, despite how your artwork makes you feel, or like how the business side of things with your art goes, if you feel that way, you just gotta just ignore it. That's all it is. That's the secret to it. You just gotta fucking ignore it and just keep going. There's way worse things in life than not getting into a con. Hold on. The stream is lagging on my end. Let me refresh that. Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. Because AX is Anime Expo is a very special convention for me. So I hope to see everyone there. It's special for me on a professional level, It's special to me on a personal, like it's just all around. It's like the Avengers. Well, old school. It's like the Avengers of my artist. Uh, how would I say? Anyway, it's just really meaningful show to me. Stumbling over my words. I've been sober for too long. That's what the problem is. Start thinking now. Vandal, I have not been paying attention to I have not been paying attention to when AX results are going to be sent. Do you know when they're going to send them to the general audiences? You look like a swole Malfoy. I like both of those things that you said. I have lost quite a bit of weight over the past, well, since the new year. And now that my hair is not as, it doesn't look like a wig. Like I don't look like a female rapper anymore. I actually look like I have actual blonde hair now. So like I actually just came back from the gym today. I almost didn't stream because I worked out so hard this morning and I was just like feeling sick and I was feeling weak. I wanted to go to sleep. I was like, fuck this stream. So I was like you don't know, you're just waiting. All right. Vandal, what other shows are you waiting on? What other shows are you waiting to hear from? Because I know that these cons, the conventions this year, they're taking their sweet ass fucking time, man. They're taking. So for those who don't know what it's like, all right, let me tell you. Just let's reset the room, as they say. For anyone who doesn't know what it's like, okay, if you're an artist, you want to sell your artwork at these conventions, you apply through like their website, whenever it is that they open. They used to do first come first serve, but they don't do that anymore. A lot of them don't do that anymore because they have to start filtering out for like AI and all that stuff. Anyway, and it used to be that like you would get approved like 6 months in advance, and then you would have to pay your money, and it would suck because they'd hold your money for so long before you even get like a chance to get your return on your investment. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how it always was. And sometimes I'd be like you go to talk to full-time artists, like full-time convention artists, some of these motherfuckers, like we're like 30 grand in the hole before we even get to start the new year. You know what I mean? But these cons recently, I'm thinking it's because most of them have to do jury, which means they have to do more of their like due diligence work about like making sure they're not allowing in like studios or AI or whatever. Now we're not hearing back from these cons until, I swear to God, like 2 months, 1 month before the show. When was it? YomaCon last year didn't let us know until 2 weeks before the show whether or not we got in. That's a 5-digit show. That's a 5-digit earning show, and they're just like, look, if you down, you come through. I was like, all right, cool. Ooh, Boston will be real good for you because that's right over there. Yeah, Blurred and Dream. I wrote them an email. Because I want to do Dream. Blurred, not really my, that's not my thing. But I'm not their thing. But Dream. I wanted to do DreamCon, and I wrote them an email and everything, and they didn't get back to me. So, CEO, regular CEO or otaku? I'd like to thank the one person who's watching on Picarto. I didn't know that there were still human beings on that website. But I see you there and I appreciate it. Okay, everybody, we are just doing some warm-ups right now, okay? These are some warm-up sketches, and then we're gonna get to the task at hand, which is yeah. I'm mainly gonna focus today on we're gonna practice hands holding other things, primarily practicing hands drawing hands, because I'm not gonna lie, I fucking suck at that. I suck at drawing hands that are interacting with other hands. For the longest time, like, drawing hands on their own is easy work. Like, I've broken down the method to it so many times here on my streams, and if you do it the way I explain it, or not do it, but like if you start looking at it the way I explain it, there's no way that hands will still be hard for you. But it gets a little difficult, it gets a little complicated when you put something in that hand, you know? So that's what we're working on today. Oh shit, James, what's going on, man? How's the Discord treating you? I'm just counting down the moments till my dog wakes up and I gotta take her out. My dog is about 1.5 years. Bitch is 60 pounds, man. She's huge. It's because we meal prep all her food, same time I meal prep all my and my wife's food. Dude. Malcolm, what's going on, man? Now we have a boxer. It's a purebred female boxer of all things. 60 pounds at 1.5 years. Oh, Malcolm, you wanted to hear about MagFest, right? We chatted up about it a little bit before you came here, but okay, dude, MagFest is wild. I'm not gonna lie. There are many conventions that I want to go to as an attendee. Like, how many times have I told y'all I can't wait for the day where I don't get approved for an artist table at Anime Expo, because I'm gonna go as an attendee and just enjoy the show. How many times have I said that, right? I erase all of that, undo all of that. I don't want to go to AX. I don't want to go to EDC anymore. Like, I don't want to go back to EDC anymore. I don't want to do any of that. I'd rather just save all my time off and my money, get a hotel room at MagFest, and just rock out in that bitch and be high for like 4 days and just play video games. And they have DJs. I mean, they got fucking MagFest hallways. They have DJs in the hallways, not like random people setting up their fucking board. Like, it's anyway. Yeah, I would that would be the show. If I were ever gonna go to a convention as an attendee, it'd be MagFest. Every floor that you went on, because I stayed, the convention is attached to a hotel. The hotel is gorgeous, fucking gorgeous, and a 24-hour food hall means 24-hour coffee, right? It's snowing when you go. I stayed at the hotel that the convention's attached to. I was splitting it with a bunch of people so I could, so it's like affordable. So every floor that I had to go up to get to my room, which took fucking forever because there's so many people, every floor is nothing but like echoey music coming from the rooms, because every room is just a big old house party, or a big old after party. Each room was a different party. See, A-Kon, but I think the thing that puts MagFest above A-Kon for me is that it's attached to the convention, and the convention itself is 24 hours. So it's two. Okay. All right, we're gonna step away from the game, or we're gonna step away from the hands for a little bit, because I gotta illustrate something for you guys. Okay, so you have the walkway into the convention, right? It's because it's and then this out here, there's like a big food hall right here, and then the rest of the convention, and then there's the hotel areas over here, right? Oh, Akon used to be 24. Did they have to change that for like legal purposes? Usually that's because oh, dude. I wonder why they took that away. Did it change during COVID? Is that what it was? So anyway, you have the 24-hour food hall here, and then you have a hallway here, and there's a DJ right here. And they have a big ol' screen that has like MagFest, and it's just like crazy. And then when you get around it, you have the entrance. You have entrances to the halls, right? And all the halls, it's one of those things where they're all connected to each other, but they have like little separators, or you know, like those you roll it back. You know, it's like one big hall, but it's separated by like rolling doors, right? Oh, the creepy dudes. Oh yeah, those stories you were telling me, the creepy dude story. Voice actors. Ner, what's going on? How am I in the chat? I'm doing really good. I think the chat's doing really well. I brought all my... Malcolm, you be proud of me. I brought all my own food for this con. Because I was there for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was there for 6 days. I packed all my own food. I measured everything. Stayed in my calories. Under calories. Literally every day. I only spent money on getting black coffee. So anyway, really big halls, right? 24-hour event. Over here is where they had like well, they had like all the tabletop tournaments. They had Yu-Gi-Oh there. So I got to nerd out with a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players that would come by the table and they'd show me their deck. Like, oh, that Yu-Gi-Oh drawing's fire. I'm like, yeah, man, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh competitively. Oh yeah, I'm playing at the tournament. They fucking throw their backpack. Check this out. They get all their cards with them. Yeah. So they had all the tournaments over here, and then over here is the artist alley, and then over here is the indie area, which I found very fascinating. So it's indie game developers, because it's a gaming convention, right? So this whole hall here was just indie game developers that let you play their games for free. And yeah. Kaiser, how you doing? Day 56, you're going to 100, right? Or you're gonna go past 100? I imagine 100 is easy work for you now. It's more just like probably that first like 10 days, right? You're just like, fuck all this. Okay, so they had the indie developers, and they had let you play their games for free. And then over here was the free-to-play arcade, and they had... You see the videos I put up on Instagram? They had like racks of Initial D. They had like... It was bad, and it was 24 hours. But it was full the whole time. So people were like lit the whole time, man. It was crazy. And then if you go out this way, yeah, about this way in the hall, you can go outside, and everybody out here smoking cigarettes and weed. And then there's a little downstairs part that they called Smoker's Alley, right? It was, I swear to God. It's because there's like a grate down here where there's a lot of heat coming out, and it's snowing, so it's super cold. So you go down these stairs right here, right? And then people would go over here, and there's just heads. The whole thing is just heads over here. Just smoke. It's a bunch of smoke. Everyone's just standing here. They call it Smoker's Alley. And they had a fucking DJ right here. I swear to God. It was crazy. Like he was just over here on this table, just like freezing cold. Like yeah. Anyway. Yeah. If my wife is watching, I didn't smoke any cigarettes while I was there. If she's not watching, I smoked hella cigarettes while I was there. So the question was, for the convention, what was my meal prep like? So when I'm driving, so we're talking about meal prepping for conventions. That's a good question, because I used to do that thing where I wouldn't even, like, food would be such an afterthought, and I would just spend a bunch of money on garbage food while I was out on the road. And in my 20s, that's how I got really fat. It's really fat, you know? So, if I'm driving to a con, it's so much easier, because then I could just, you know, I basically just pack the stuff that I'd be eating at home, you know, just chicken, potatoes, broccoli, kimchi. You can bring a lot of kimchi because that shit takes forever to go bad as long as it's sealed up. When you're flying, I like to bring, they have these tortillas. They're advertised as low carb tortillas, but the reason they're really useful when you're traveling is they take forever to, like, they won't go bad while you're traveling. They're really high in fiber, and they're flat. So when you travel, especially if you're gonna throw it into your check-in luggage or something, they're flat, so it's easy to transport them. So I find these tortillas, specifically these ones that are advertised as carb balanced tortillas, because whether or not you're doing like a low carb thing, it's not the point. The point is it has a lot of fiber in it. So when you're out on the road and your nutrition starts to get a little wonky, that's one of the best things you could do, is try and find little alternatives or little things to help. You started smoking cigarettes when you were 19, you're 37 now, you haven't smoked a cigarette. Since October 15th. Hey man, that's good. Yeah, I have a stash of vapes that I found in my office, and once these are done, I'm done vaping. Like, I'm not gonna spend any more. It's more only a money thing. I don't want to spend more money on vapes. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna vape the shit out of these because I'm not gonna throw them away. But when I'm at a con, I am allowed myself to get cigarettes because there's too much money on the line. I don't want to be tired, you know. Like, I don't drink caffeine on the daily anymore. But when I'm at a con, I'll get a Red Bull, you know, because I'm there. There's a mission when I'm there, so just smoke weed. Or vape weed. Okay, so anyway, Vandal was asking about the meal prepping, right? Vandal over in the YouTube chat was asking about my convention meal prepping. If I'm flying versus if I'm driving. Driving, I can just bring, like, I'll pre-cook potatoes and pre-measure everything and put it in a big container. Boom, done. Not a big deal. If I'm staying at an Airbnb versus a hotel, which I usually am if I'm driving, they have a refrigerator. Just put your shit in there. Hopefully they don't open it up and rub their fucking wang on it and then put it back or whatever. So, but you stay in an Airbnb, that's just that you roll the dice. That's the game you play. So, you know, you end up with wang potatoes, that's on you. When I'm flying, I use those tortillas. Another good option is cured meat. Cured meat like salami. The good thing about cured meat is, again, they're flat, so they're not going to get all folded up and crunched up during transport. But also, you can get a good source of protein and fat. They're not very expensive. It's like you go to Walmart, you can get a big old pack of the cured meat for like $7. You take that with you to the convention, you'll be set. And they're really, really, really high in calories. So you're not gonna have a lot of time to eat when you're working the artist alley table. So you're gonna have to throw a couple of those onto a tortilla, and it's not messy. And you can stay up on your calories because there's one thing you don't want to do. Hey, a view, thank you for the follow on Twitch. You know, you don't want to undereat when you go to these conventions. You know, you don't want to deprive yourself because then you'll just be tired, and that's gonna cost you. You're not gonna perform as well as you normally would, and that's gonna cost you money. And when you fuck with your money, you're fucking with your life. Anyway, that's just my food strategy for conventions. You want something that's not going to make a big mess, something that you don't need to refrigerate on the chance that you won't have access to a refrigerator, or you want to bring stuff that you can just leave at the table so you don't got to carry it with you back and forth to wherever it is you're staying, right? Hold on, I think my dog is awake. All right, pause. Dog pause. Hold on. I shall return. I'll be right back. Gotta take the dog out real quick. We're back. And with food. The last bit of food I get for the day. It's some bullshit. Well, that was fun. We gave the TikTokers a taste of the stream. Planes, what's going on? Thank you. Yeah, so warm-up session is done. Now we can get to the actual study that we're gonna do. We are going to be practicing, where is it, chapter 3? I think it's chapter 3. No, here it is. Hands interacting with other things. More specifically, we need to practice hands interacting with other hands. Ooh, that was loud. Chilling, doodling. Ah, what you got going on today? What you doodling today? You know, I don't think, you know how normally when I'm trying to learn a new subject, there's always some kind of, I don't want to say shortcut, but more of like, there's a different way to look at things, right? How with hands, I look at them like shapes, which is what like mentally helps me draw everything. Same thing with animals. Now, when it comes to hands interacting with other hands, I don't think there's like a shortcut method to it. I think it's straight up just mileage. I need a little book holder. Too fancy. So we'll probably have to use 2 different colors here. Copic Marker was kind enough to send me some multi-liners, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. We'll do one hand in blue and then the other hand in brown. So hopefully that will be enough contrast. Made a logo working on letterhead business card. Logos are a pain. I'm paying somebody right now to rebuild my website. I was this close to paying somebody to make a logo for me because I'm not good at making logos. Like that's not my thing, right? It is its own skill set to do logos, and I was really close. What I ended up doing was you've seen the new, like, you have a BA and, okay, well congrats. I'm glad that you're making use out of it. So I was super stuff. I was really close to paying somebody to make my logo, and I ended up just saying fuck this. So you can see, I don't know if you've seen the new name that I've been, because it's just texting, it's just text, right? And then it's Kamojis on the outside part. Because I was like, I don't have the skill for this, so what can I do? And these I think it looks really cool for like like aesthetically it looks really cool, especially with the it looks really cool, especially with the aesthetic that I was going for, like the simple aesthetic, because like over the past year I've been really stripping away and just kind of dumbing down the look of everything that I'm doing. And also these kind of look like C's to me. I was like, all right, cool, that's perfect. And then because they are Kamojis, they're text based, you can I can copy and paste these, and it's not just a logo. I could like put it into text, like, you know what I mean? What I mean, like I put it into text, like I can copy and paste it as text into things, which is really handy. So it's like it works as a logo, but it also works as like, it's like functional. So when I fill out, for example, when I fill out an application for a convention, I can include these bits in my application when I put like what's your artist's name, right? And I'm just like, hey, cool, copy paste, and it works. Yeah. So I'm very happy with that, and I've tried so hard. I've tried so hard to come up with like a cool logo, and at the end of the day, it was just me like being kind of sober, like just frustratingly typing away and looking at animation, like, oh, you. Anyway, that's where that comes from. Well, I appreciate that. Make one for free. I appreciate that. The current logo that I have to show some respect. I have to show some respect for the current logo I had, because it took hours and hours and hours of being frustrated for me to finally come up with something where I was just like, fine, that's good enough. I'll take it. Couldn't have come up with this logo I have without all those years of being frustrated. I remember I've tried watching YouTube videos on how to do like design, right? It's clearly something that I'm just not passionate about, and also it's not something you can just learn by watching a YouTube video, you know. It's like with a lot of videography and photography. You can read and watch YouTube videos all you want, but if you're not like passionate about it, but also if you don't have I always feel like there's a bit of an eye for that kind of stuff. So when you're making logos, I always feel like, yeah, there's a lot of practice, there's a lot of training involved, but I think there's also like an eye. Some people just have it that make them exceptional, and some people just don't. And by that eye, usually it's developed through like being exposed to stuff when you're young. Like a lot of people who are good at photography might have just seen more things when they were younger. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm happy with my super simple copy paste logo. Appreciate that. What I don't have an eye for is having hands hold other hands. This is like the bane of my existence. Hold on, my wife's calling. She needs my help with something. Usually it means there's something heavy that has to be moved. She can't quite do it. So give me like a minute or two. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're back. Better than Rob Liefeld, no feet. This is fascinating. In 30 years, I haven't seen any modern Liefeld work. Or basically anything outside the 90s. I haven't really been exposed to Liefeld's work. Is it all the same? That particular look is very 90s. Is he still alive? Am I talking shit about a dead guy? I don't really participate in the art community, so I don't know. Oh no, our Picarto person left. For those who don't know, I am multi-streaming on like fucking every platform right now except Instagram, right? So that includes Picarto. You remember Picarto? Yeah, we had a viewer there earlier. That was weird. Ghost Town. Oh, my lower back is so jacked up. I feel like we're going to be working on this topic. Just everyone needs to just brace their butts because I think we're going to be on the topic of hands, interacting with hands for a long time. Because this is something that has always bothered me. I'm so proficient at normal hands, and it's a fucking joke that I can't do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so proficient at drawing hands that it's such bullshit that I can't do this. Like, so just prepare yourself that we're gonna be working on hands and hands, doing hand things for a while. Okay. I mean, hopefully I get it down. Hopefully it just clicks with me. And we're not here all fucking month, right? Ooh, how are you liking multi-streaming? Is it confusing with all the chats, or are you using a program to condense it all in one place? My Streamlabs, I have the premium version of Streamlabs that condenses the Twitch and YouTube chats into one. And then I just have a different window for Picarto. And then when I was streaming on TikTok, actually you can't use Streamlabs to stream to TikTok. Well, you can, but it streams it horizontally. Like I stream landscape, but TikTok and Instagram are portrait. So horrible. God, we need to get rid of that so bad. So if I stream to TikTok, I actually have to use a separate device, which I have an old phone up here. It's right out of frame right here. And I use that to stream to TikTok, and to keep track of the TikTok chat, I actually have another old phone right in front of me, right out of frame as well, where I have the chat for that. So is it hard? Nah, not really. If I actually had a lot of people watching, probably get a little tricky, but yeah, but I would imagine that if I ever got to a point where it was so busy in my chats, I would probably just rotate and be like, all right, so I'm in the Twitch chat right now. All right, I'm in the YouTube chat right now. All right, I'm in the TikTok chat right. I'll just rotate and tell people I'm like, all right, I'm over here right now. If you want to talk to me, that's where I'm at. Or I would just be like, I'm not looking at any of these chats. I'm only here on Twitch. Find me on Twitch. Anyway, what's my next convention? My next convention that I'm gonna be at is I think all of February. I have some smaller shows. Oh no! I have a small show in Stockton Con. That's in California. And then the weekend after that, that's at the end of February. The weekend after that, I have Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle. And then the weekend after that, I have Awesome Con in Washington, D.C. So I have 3 back-to-back-to-back shows starting end of February. Those are the next 3 that I have. Hey, ViewArt, what's up? Cadet. I'm not sure which drawing you're talking about, but for the most part, when I'm doing sketches, I'm not using pencils. It's mainly something that I do to help. It's like an exercise. It helps me with my line work, and especially I use pencil in construction when I'm working on like a finished or something that I'm gonna be showcasing, something I'm gonna be selling, like big scale, whatever. Or if it's client work, because the client paid money for it, so of course I'm gonna. Yeah, but what's going on? Oh, look at all these old faces here. It's good to see everyone. The post is called Space Cadet. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but I'm just gonna say it's like 99% that it's just with pen. Yeah, that's what like all my my whole sketchbooks, all my sketchbook stuff is just pen. Cause it including that Space Cadet. I think I know which one that is. That's the female character, right? Yeah. But anyway, it's a good exercise. Like if you don't use pencil. Now, if you're like studying and you're trying to learn something new, of course, do whatever method works for you. But like if you're just trying to up your line work, especially if you're trying to up your confidence and really test your understanding of any particular subject, eliminating the pencil section can really make you commit to your lines. I think it's just good. It's good exercise. It's good exercise. So anyone who's just joining right now, we are in the process of big ol' sigh. I'm in the process of doing some practice because I really suck at drawing hands, interacting with other hands. It's just some weird shit that I'm sure after a little bit of mileage, I'll get over it, and we'll move on, and there'll be one of those things where I'm like, oh, I can't believe I ever sucked at this. But as of right now, I still suck at it, so that's what we're doing. This goes here. That goes there. Definitely want to do that, but I feel like I'll have to go through mountains of practice with sketching. Yeah. The whole thing about like not using a pencil or undersketch when you draw, it's just a whatever. It's a personal thing. Like there's some people who will never do that because it doesn't serve you any purpose. Like if you're a comic book artist, no, that's a bad example, because a comic book artist who's really good without the undersketches would be a super productive artist. Let's say you're like a painter or something, right? There's no use for it. It's cool. I do a lot of like live art, not live on stream. Like I'll draw live in front of people, like human people, not internet people. And when you only have so much time, eliminating that step where you need to do an undersketch, one, it saves you time, but two, people love it. They think it's fucking cool to watch. So that's one of the reasons I do it all the time. I do it a lot. That's one of the many reasons. But it's not for everyone. So, I mean, it's cool, but I wouldn't like lose any sleep over your ability or inability to do it. It ain't a, don't even trip. It is pretty cool though, isn't it? It's like it makes for a cool show. Uh, so what do you like to draw right now? View. Bashy, I thank you. Thank you. Doing your journaling, trying to bed early? Oh, hell no. Bed early. We don't do that around these parts. We don't take kindly to people who sleep. Ah, shit. Hold on. Can't even put my hood on. Hand on hand crime. Ooh, nice. So what specifically with perspective are you practicing? Are you doing like a trying to sharpen up 1 point, or have you moved up to 3 point? You're trying to be all Gucci with that 5 point, or just in general, just sharpening perspective in general. Another crypto contact you about your art. You know, most of them are just bots. What I've come across. I get messages all the time about people, crypto or whatever. It's just it's all automated stuff, you know. Just ignore it. Oh shit. What I got in my pocket. Oh, did I tell you guys? I tell you guys, my wife and I, I took my wife. We had to go get another MRI done, and to check for any kind of potential recurrence or anything like that. And, nah, came back crystal clean. Absolutely, absolutely nothing on the scan. That was like earlier this week. Well, what is today? Monday? That was early last week when I got back from MagFest. I was like half alive because I was so tired from MagFest, but we had to go and drive over and to the doctor and get MRI. Anyway, Just totally clean. Got no cancers. None of it came back. Which means, because she's basically retired now. I told her after all that shit, I was like, I don't want you to work anymore. Like, I make stacks, so you just fucking stay home and just basically when you get better from recovering from all your chemo and stuff, I need you to take care of everything in the house because I'm trying to draw more. I was just like, all right, look, I don't want you working anymore because you hate your job. You know, you can go do your thing, but you gonna have to take over this goddamn house so I can draw. So she's slowly recovering right now, and she's getting a lot stronger. So as that goes on and she gets better, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me back like how we used to. So that's why I've been back at cons a little bit more. I've been streaming a little bit more, but she's not fully recovered yet. But anyway, things are on the upswing here. I haven't updated you guys about that kind of stuff in a while, so I wanted to bring it up and let y'all know that everything's going well. All right, no more of that sad stuff. You know, no more of that sad stuff. That's over. That's over. View art in general, sharpening everything. I do want to get more intentional with the purpose of the practice. I haven't drawn in maybe half a year, which, dude, I get rusty hella fast. If I stop drawing for like a week for any fucking reason, I come back, it feels like I haven't drawn at all. So I get you. Half a year would kill me. Like, I would just die. Like, I feel you on that. Okay? I haven't drawn maybe half a year, which is a long time for you. You're pretty determined to get good or at least improve a lot. That's good. That's good. Do you get rusty really fast? Is like half a year really, like, first off, half a year is long for anybody, whether or not you get rusty quick or not. But does anybody here rust up really fast? Because, sorry, give me a couple days, man. I suck. Like, I'm not great to begin with, but like, fucking, you be like. But that's good. I'm glad that you're back on it. During that half year, I assume it's something that was eating at you. Was it something that was bothering you during that half year when you had to take it off? I'm sure you're doing other important things, but there has to be that part of you in your brain where you're just like, fucking come on. You try to draw every day. Well, everybody tries to draw every day, you know. But that's good. Drawing every day. That's actually the real answer to most of artists' problems. Art block. Okay, well then you need to just draw something else, but continue to draw. You know, oh, I'm not good at drawing hands. Okay, you need to draw more hands, but you need to draw every day. That's like one of those things where you're just like, oh, I'm fat. What do I do? Like, did you exercise? Yeah. Are you exercising like every day? No. Well, there's a problem right there, bruh. I find most artists' solutions can be solved by just drawing more. So that's good. Yeah. Anyway, what for anyone who's just hopping in, what we're working on is I'm really trying to focus on a lot of my weak points this year. And one of like right away, like one of the weakest things that I have in my arsenal, 1,000,000%, is hands interacting with other hands. I'm proficient at drawing hand singular or hands plural separate from each other. But having them interact with each other is a fucking nightmare for me. So that's what we're working on. And until I feel I've become proficient at it, that's all these streams are going to be. There's going to be hand streams. Life in general was more demanding, as life often becomes, you know. You can't control what's going on during that, but you can control your behaviors when it slows down, you know. Make you want to draw hands. Hey, hands is one of those things where it's just like, I find hands is almost like my default to draw now. Because you know how, I don't know who here likes to keep their sketchbook with them when they fly, and because I travel for anime conventions, like that's my other job, selling my artwork at anime conventions and comic book conventions. That's my other full-time thing that I do. But when I'm traveling, I always have my sketchbook with me, and I'm at a point where like I used to do a lot of figure drawing when I was like when I'm at the table or at the airport and I'm looking at people, then I'll do like, life drawing, figure drawing. But when I'm like on the airplane and I'm bored and I don't want to look around and I just need to draw something, I used to draw a lot of people just from memory. I've really changed into, I only draw hands. Like if you look at my little sketchbook that I bring with me to when I travel, it's nothing but hands. It's all over. Actually, you didn't continue going through with your anatomy book. I do that right now. Drawing streams are always so motivating for you. That's good. Which anatomy book do you prefer, or which one are you working out of? By the way, I've come after being exposed to a lot of books and internet videos, I've come to the realization that pretty much every book is kind of the same. I mean, they're all good. You just have to kind of stick with it and use it over and over and over and over. Like there are clearly some that have more information or better, like where the information is better conveyed. But I've realized, I'm just like, all of these are kind of the same. Oh, you got the Morpho one. It's this one, right? This book is hella good. I have a bunch of Morpho books. Ow. Yeah, I have a bunch of Morpho books. I was literally about to say that right now, where it's like everything in it, it's so concise. If you look at like the picture to word ratio, it's like 75-25 in favor of images, and it's still able to convey a lot of information versus one of my favorite books, the Scott Robertson's How to Draw, that I always recommend. If you look at that, it's like 70% text, 30% images, right? But it's still very informative, still very good. But this is just like, check this shit out, bro. Like, Morpho books are hella good. and they're so inexpensive. My bad. I didn't mean to scare you. Just pop up. Continue talking about the Morpho books, and they're so inexpensive, right? Like some of these books are just like the fucking the Stonehouse book. I love that book, but that shit was not cheap, right? And the Morpho books are like, I don't know how much they are now, but when I bought them like during the COVID era, during the dark times, they were like $15, like $12. Like, oh, you want my opinion on Pal World? As somebody who is a pretty, I messed this up, a pretty hardcore Pokemon fan. I don't know if any of you knew that, based on some of my drawings. um, I don't know. I don't have any opinion about it, like almost at all. Because there've been so many quote what would be the Pokemon killers, right? That's how a lot of them are always framed. Oh, this is it. This is the one right here. You know that other shit? No, that was nothing. This shit right here. This is the Pokemon killer right here. Like, you know how many times we've heard that over the past 3 decades? You know, like, it's just it's Pokemon with guns, but Digimon with fewer. It's somewhere in between Pokemon with guns and Digimon with fewer guns. Like, that's all it is. Like, take that. It's okay, you take Pokemon with guns, right? It's plus Digimon with fewer guns, right? Add Unreal Engine. What's Breath of the Wild and some Stardew Valley. You put it into a blender and you get that game. You get Pal World. I just don't see it. I just don't see the interest. Like, I know that it looks like a fun game, but it's not really innovating in any way. It's like literally just like this, plus I'm sure other ingredients. It's just like things from other games put together, and then they use Unreal Engine to make it look pretty, and that's kind of all it is. And it's just like, that's cool. That would make for a fun game. I'm sure it's hella fun. I bet if you played it, it'd be fun, despite how you feel about Pokemon. But to me, I'm just like, just whatever. That's why I can't play a lot of crafting games. Like, I play Stardew Valley, and then like, I loved Legends Arceus. That was fun. There's a lot of crafting in it, I had fun with that because I didn't play Breath of the Wild. But I bet I had my buddy. I was gonna say his name. I won't say his name here on stream. He's a huge Zelda fan, and he didn't like Legends Arceus because he was just like, it's just fucking Breath of the Wild. I'm like, okay, see, I didn't play that though, so that's it. I just don't see the appeal of it lasting very long because it's not doing anything new in any way. That's it. Looks fun though. Oh, you're over it? You're over it for different reasons than I mentioned. There's a pal that's basically Dragon Jet with missiles. There's a Pokemon that's a Dragon Jet with missiles. It's a ghost. Like, it's been out for hella long. Yeah, Obi stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, where it's just like, I don't have any personal issue with the game because it's just a fucking game. But if you're asking me if I'm interested in it, I'm going to say no. And do I think it's going to last long? My answer is going to be no. And that's because it's not doing anything interesting, or it's not doing anything new. And even design-wise, because they didn't even bother. They didn't even bother to change the character designs that much. How's that not Eevee? That's Cremis. You know, like, nah, like... Yeah, did anybody That's Anubis. I don't know if anybody ever. And this is some old shit. I'm about to date myself, but like, you used to be able to get these bootleg Dragon Ball figures called Dragoon Ball. They would have two O's instead of one O, and it was like kind of Goku, but it wasn't. You know, like. You know, it was like kind of Goku, but it wasn't. That's what that game is. So, yeah. You installed it, played it for 5 hours, then uninstalled it. Thought, screw this time killer. Paperback is 20. Oh, they're not hardcovers of the Morpho books, are there? Because when I bought them, there were only paperbacks. Do not tell me there's hardcover versions of these, because I am a hardcover nerd. I will shell out like 3 times the price of a book if it means I can get it hardcover. Because when I buy a book, I intend to keep it for my whole life. You know? So that's the one thing about the Stonehouse Anatomy book that really pissed me off. Not like pissed me off because it's not a big deal, but like how hey, can you draw a request plus can you type? Oh, Old Sponges on Picarto. Hi. I barely saw your comment right now. My bad. We were focused on talking about Pal World. I'm not really taking requests right now. I'm currently doing some practice with some stuff. So yeah, no requests at the moment. Sorry. Yeah, the Stonehouse Anatomy book. I could not believe that it was not the option of a hardcover was not there. Like, what a so much work put into that book. It's so well produced. And it has names of really high-end artists on, like really skilled artists. And it's a Super Annie book. And they didn't have a hardcover option. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on. You could have charged $200 for a hardcover version and people still would have bought it. And I just... Instead, I have 2 copies of the... 2 copies of the soft cover of it. Yeah. And I assume I'm going on my Stonehouse rant. I assume that the Stonehouse book is produced probably somewhere near Korea, right? Because that's where the artist is. I was gonna say printing costs out there are probably a lot cheaper than they are stateside. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, if they ever release a hardcover version of the Stonehouse Anatomy book, I may pick up that. My bad, I went off on a tangent. What the fuck were we talking about? It's funny how lazy the character designs, right? Do you see the Cobalion? It's freaking ridiculous, dude. Like, you didn't even try. You didn't even try. Like, you could at least try. Now, if they took all the elements from these other games, okay? They took all the elements from these other games and they had a really good story and really unique monster designs. Just those 2 things, then that would completely change my mind. Be like, well, maybe this has some staying power in it. But nah. Paint markers. Drop a link. Drop a link into the chat. I want to take a look at them. And what's another... You all consume more internet stuff than I do. Where else do you go? Do you see people live streaming artwork? Other than YouTube and Twitch and Picarto and TikTok and Instagram. Keep in mind, I'm locked out of my Kick account, so I can't even... Like, I wanted to just add Kick to my arsenal of multi-streaming. But, like, I'm, like, locked out of that account. And I'm just... It's not worth my energy to go and try and fucking fight to recover. Sold over 8 million copies, huh? How much of that has to do with people doing it out of spite for the laziness of modern Pokemon games? Because I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but we call it what it is, man. These modern Pokemon games are not the business. In many different ways, like gameplay-wise, they have it. Like, I enjoy, especially the two new one, the Scarlet Violet. I really enjoyed those games. Like, that was really good. But man, if they just gave them some more time to sharpen up some of the edges, like graphically, man, you know, like, just like, come on, man, like. Put a little bit more thought into the gimmick, you know. They need stronger hardware. They need stronger hardware or tone down the graphics. Like, look at Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. If that's a 3DS game, if you... Okay, you know what? Fuck that. Look at Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Look at how good those games look compared to, like, Legends Arceus. Okay, Legends Arceus, I get why that... They just need to get away from the 3D. Like, they need to get away from 3D. They need to put it back into that fucking 3/4 eagle eye view, like the old games, like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and the previous games before that. Not X and Y. Like, X and Y... No, Sun and Moon fucked it up. Like, yeah, you go back to that. Tone the graphics down a little bit, and you can't go back. Fuck, we can't. Fuck, we can't. Look at Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. Those were eagle 3/4, like, eagle view. You know, you're not following the character from behind. You're not rotating the camera. It's a fixed camera, and it looks really good. And it sold really well. People love those games. But also, if they brought it back to like 2.5D, like they did in ORAS, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you can actually animate the Pokemon. Dude, if they could animate the Pokemon, so much would be forgiven with the graphics. They'd be like, oh, these graphics aren't fire. But these Pokemon, they look like they're alive, like they're moving around, like. And that's why we can never have all the Pokemon in one region. Okay, I agree with you though that they need better hardware. But that's the thing though. They're gonna get a new system, and they're just gonna push it even further, and then they're gonna like. Nintendo will make a new system, right? And the hardware will be better. And then they're gonna be doing some wacky shit, and it's still gonna feel behind. Because does that make sense? Like Scarlet Violet feels behind because of the hardware, right? But if they got a game, it's like if you're trying to pack for a trip and you don't have enough luggage space, right? So you have to kind of make do with the luggage space that you have, and you make it work. And you're like, oh man, that was really tricky, but we made it work. And then somebody comes along and he's like, here's an empty luggage. And instead of trying to utilize the space and making the best of it, you're like, oh fuck, I got another piece of luggage, just gonna put, you know what I mean? Like we don't need to shoot on location. We got the volume. Got a big ass screen. I agree with you, Rat. That's something else that I'm saying. I'm like, if you, especially with Pokemon, if you stylize it in a way where it's the 3D, I'm telling, it's the 3D. If they pull it back and make them look like anime characters, go back to like a 2.5 look to it, a 2.5D look to it, and then it's not so demanding on the hardware, you can make a gorgeous looking Pokemon game. Because the ideas they have for Pokemon, even in the modern games, people complain about them a lot. They're good. Like those ideas they have are good. They just look like wet cement, you know, like anyway, that's my Pokemon rant. You have to bring up Pal World and get me all worked up. You know how to push my buttons, that's why.